and today I am here with another episode of Focus Forward. And before we get started, I just wanted to say, look at how beautiful this book was sent to me. And this is David Horsacker's book. He's going to be a future guest on the show. But I just think, getting so many books in the mail now that I'm doing the show, this just made this book so much more special. So just to let authors out there know, maybe you could do something when you send your book out to make it a little bit more special. So before I open this, I just wanted to show you this because I really think that this is very beautiful. It says here, with compliments. It's very nice. So there we have that. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about Rich Habits by Tom Corley. I will tell you, I love this book. I know I've mentioned it before, but I've read it again, and I really, really like it. This book can help anybody to adjust some of those things that are really preventing them from moving to the next level financially. So I recommend this book because it's an easy read. It's simple to understand. The habits that he describes here are you can incorporate them into your life quickly and easily without a lot of stress or without big changes. But the thing about this is, if you just took one of these tips once in a while and on a regular basis and you just incorporated one at a time, you would be getting there. So absolutely pick up that book. It's fabulous. And you can get that actually right on richhabitsinstitute.com. So it's simple, easy, you can pick it up. So today on this show, I am so excited to have this guest. Last week I put up there, I have to, organize 4 outfits per day when I do the shows, and to be thinking about the jewelry and the pants or the skirt and the tops and all these things for 4 different shows, plus what I wear to the studio. And sometimes it really, it starts to wear on my brain when I'm waking up and I'm putting on those clothing choices together. So I put that on, and this woman contacted me with some really great advice. So today I want you to help me welcome Audra Clay to the show. Audra is a coach. She's also a professional. And right now I want to talk to Audra. Audra, tell me, first of all, thanks so much for being on the show, but tell me, what is it you do for people that you did like that for me the other day?
Really, honestly, Lori, it's just sharing advice and tips that I've learned. I am what you would call fashion challenged. It does not come naturally to me. And I've always envied those people that look just effortlessly beautiful and completely put together. And it was like they didn't even have to try. So I studied, I learned, and just listened to tips. So when you had mentioned on Facebook that you were having a challenge with getting the outfits put together and feeling like you knew what you're going to wear and it was easy and it was simple, one tip that I had learned was, if you feel really great in an outfit, or if people comment on how great that color looks on you, take a full-length photograph of that. Start to create your own lookbook. And you can keep that in a little photo album in your closet. You can keep it, you've got power outfits or date outfits or formal outfits, whatever it might be, as that grows over time. And what that's going to do for you is allow you a really simple way of putting together things that look great on you.
Well, that advice is really fabulous, because when I'm thinking of it, I'm always just trying to put clothes in the suitcase and figure them out and lay them out, okay, and put them in and let's go. And I do it kind of in a hurry, but like that would really give me an opportunity to analyze what's working for me and get a sense of maybe the colors, maybe the style, the shape of the clothing. That's really great. So I love that idea. What other tips can you give us?
Well, there's a few things that are easy, and there's kind of 3 things that I learned that I always want to remember. The first is learn your colors. Not every color is going to look equally as great on every person, because your eyes, your hair, your skin color and tone are different. So, for example, the color blue that you're wearing today looks awesome on you. It really brightens up your skin. It brightens up your eyes. It looks great. So when I was thinking about what to wear today, I chose this color pink because it's one of the colors that works really, really well with the natural redness and pink in my skin tone. It also is a complementary color to the green paint on the walls behind me in my office. So I was thinking not only about the color palette that I am as a person, but the color palette of the environment around me. If, for example, I took something that's black and I brought some clothes here with me, if I were to put a black sweater on, you can see how different I would look. And
Yeah.
it really sort of washes it out, and you can't really, I don't look as alive, right?
Huge
But if I take
difference.
that off and there's pink, it's completely different.
And I was looking at how beautiful the pink looks with the green wall behind you. And it does,
Ah,
it looks phenomenal. And you look bright and young and fun in that color,
thank you.
and it looks great with your hair. So you look fabulous today.
Thank you. Well, I brought along a little prop that anybody can use when I talk about learning your colors for about $2, $3. You can go to any art store and purchase a color wheel like this.
I love it.
And what it does is it makes it a foolproof way to start learning your colors and start matching things. So you'll see if you look at this pink right here, that's about the pink that's in my sweater.
You should get a
And
picture.
right over here is the green that's on the walls. So
Wow, that's fabulous.
it's no secret why they look so great together. It's because that's the way nature designed them.
So let's talk a little bit about that now. You're choosing colors opposite that?
Right. If you look at the color wheel right here, let me hold this so people can see it. There's a little triangle here in the center,
Uh-huh.
and it has a line that says complementary. And you can turn this any way that you want to put different colors on the front. So if I turn this around and want to look at blues, for example, right, it's going to show me the blues down here and
Uh-huh.
the browns up here that are complementary to it if you just look straight across the wheel on that 180-degree axis.
Perfect. Well, that's great. We're going to have to get one of those. I really like
It,
that.
it's really, really cool. And it can help you in designing your home, which is what most people use it for, or artists that are going to be picking colors. But I use it to help me with my wardrobe.
Wow, that's great. I create mosaics, so something like that would be great for my mosaics as well. I love that. That's fabulous. That's a great tip.
Absolutely.
So,
So that's the first thing, is really learning your colors and knowing what works for you and what doesn't work for you. Like you can get like a really warm neutral beige, almost like an oatmeal color. And I can see pieces of fabric or jackets or sweaters that look awesome. And I love this style, but on me, it just wouldn't work because it would wash me out too much. But if I had that same style in a pink, a teal, or a purple, it would look fabulous on me because those colors work with who I am. So that's a really tip to know, is when you see something that you like, not only look at the style and the shape of it, but look at the color, because it'll make a big difference. So that leads into the second point, which is really knowing your shape, right? Fashion changes all the time, shapes change all the time. Your shape is going to stay relatively the same with you throughout your life. So for me, I have an
scary.
hourglass figure, which means I have boobs, I have hips, and I have a waist. So I'm not going to look good in styles that are really built and cut for people that have more of a straight figure. It's just not going to work. So as you start to learn clothes and as you start to learn what kind of shape you are and what's good on you, you'll steer away from things that don't complement you as much. So for example, a really simple explanation is, a crew neck top or something that kind of cuts you right off here at the neck. I have a relatively short neck, so that doesn't look as good on me. I look better on something like I'm on today, where there's a little bit of space in between my neck and my collarbone. Or even better for me is something that's V-neck.
I love V-neck clothes. I think they're fabulous. I think it really, especially for somebody short, it kind of makes them look taller. So how did you learn all this?
A lot of it is just having the desire to really figure it out, right? I'm a professional woman. I'm in a corporate environment. You can say a lot, about how you wear and how you present yourself, whether you know it or not. And if you're unconscious about how you do that, you're not always aware of the message that you're sending. So it's a really good idea to learn some basics and be able to understand that in the environment that you're in. Different colors can convey power or can convey likability, and you see this in people that are on TV all the time. So in my professional life and my desire to have a better impact and connect with people better, I've started to learn that. So I remember a few weeks ago, I started a new job and we walked into training. Almost everybody in the training was wearing brown or black, and I walked in wearing this pink sweater. I immediately stood out. And it was just by what I wore and how I carried myself.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. So in looking at that, how could, like, how does somebody go through their closet? I don't know if this is your expertise, but how does somebody go through their closet and figure out what works, what doesn't, what to donate, what to replace? Like, how do you, because now that's the point I'm at. So that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways that you can do it. You can go onto the web and you can kind of Google, dress for your shape,
Oh,
for
good
example, and it
idea.
will show you the different common shapes of different people's bodies and what types of styles will look good. So, for example, I had mentioned that I'm an hourglass shape. So, pencil skirts, the ones that are tight at the waist and real straight, are really in fashion right now. I see them all over the place. They look horrible on me. Absolutely horrible. It's just not the right shape for me. But if I have something that tucks in at the waist and is more of an A-line shape, where a skirt that's got some swing to it and some movement, not only is it a lot more fun to wear, but it looks really, really good on my shape. So it's a matter of looking at that stuff and changing how you think about not only when you're looking at your wardrobe, but when you're buying something, right? It's buying for your shape, buying in the right colors, not just what's on trend. You can buy classic clothing that's well made, that will stand the test of time, that's built for your shape. And then you can change it up with scarves or accessories or jewelry. But the basic foundation of what you have is super solid and is completely personalized for you.
Yeah, that's amazing because I remember a woman when I was first working. I was in Casa de Campo. That's where I was working in the Dominican Republic. And there was a woman that was so well dressed all the time. So well dressed. And I remember that I went to her house for something and we were looking in her closet and she had hardly anything in the closet. And I was like, Nordica, where are your clothes? And she said, this is it. I said, this is it? You can't be. But she had all basic clothing, basic shapes, and she had a huge amount of jewelry and scarves and things. So she always looked like she had something different on, when in reality, she didn't really have that many clothes. She just had really nice pieces, but then tons of jewelry and scarves. So she always looked different. That was amazing to me. And the
Right.
colors she chose were really fabulous colors. So I was amazed by that.
Right. It's something where when you meet someone like that and you admire what they are, ask them how they do it. God, you always look so fabulous. What's your secret? And so as you meet more people like that and as you learn over time, you can start to incorporate some of those things into your own wardrobe and in your own life. And it's not just about clothes, really. It goes for other things. It's trying on different houses or different cars or different friends. It's some will work for you and some won't.
Wow, that's
And
amazing. So is that what you help people do in your coaching business?
I do. And it all starts with really accepting who you are and making the best of what you've got. Right? You can lose weight, you can diet, you can change your shape, you can get healthier, you can change your clothes and do a lot of simple things that will really make you come alive. And so many people walk through this world just unconsciously. I really think we need more people that are not only alive, but in touch with what they love. And it's really going to start to shift the world that we live in.
Absolutely. But how do you help people do that?
It's a little bit like what I talked about with you. You and I had talked about colors and things like this on the show before I come on. It's sharing what I know. And it's really, meeting with them one-on-one. If people are interested in coaching, that's something that we can talk about. And I have some certain structures that work for a lot of people, but sometimes we need to customize it based on, what works well and what works for the pace of your life and for where you're at. I've coached people all my life in my corporate career and in just, friends that you meet and offering advice. For some reason, it just comes natural to me. And I really, really enjoy it. So it starts by looking at your colors, starts by looking at your wardrobe, it starts by finding out what works for you. And then as your confidence grows, you're able to kind of work on some of that other stuff about interacting with people or coming out of your shell. And it really changes your life and the impact that you're able to have.
Well, this sounds great. So you mentioned about switching your, trying on new friends, trying on new house, trying on new friends. How does one go about doing that? How do you find new friends or find potential friends? I mean, what's your suggestion for that?
You're going to be the most alive when you're doing something that you love. So if you like to play bingo, or you like playing card games, or you like trivia night at a local pub, grab a friend that you might have, or even go by yourself with the idea of meeting people. Try on new things and find out what you love. If you're doing something that you love, you're going to be so in touch with your authentic you and what you love that you'll come alive. And that's attractive to other people and makes it easier to meet people.
Well, that's great advice. So start trying different things, and I'm sure you probably, jot those down, things that you like. And then what do you do? Like set a schedule to do those on a regular basis, or, how does one go about doing that?
I do. I promise myself to do something just for me at least once a week. Sometimes it's just maybe 10 minutes of sitting quiet with a cup of coffee before the rest of my family wakes up in the morning. Other times it might be going to a spa and getting massage. This week, the thing that I really wanted to do was actually to sit here and talk with you. I was really looking forward to this week.
Me too.
And
Thank you so much, because I was so excited to be having you, because I knew just our conversation, I got so much information in that, I don't know, 10-minute conversation. I was like, wow, this is great.
yeah. So, what we talked about before was, finding your colors, finding your shape. I think the third thing that I'd like to recommend for people is find a great tailor. Not everybody is going to be able to wear clothes directly off the rack. And while you can dress for your shape to a great extent, sometimes you just need a little bit of a modification in order to make them work. So, an example of this is I'm 5 feet 4 inches tall. I sit right in between the clothes dimensions that designers make for petites and for misses. So petite clothes are usually too short, pants especially, and misses clothes are always too long. So no matter what I get, I always have to modify it a little bit in order to make it really hit at the right place, whether it's with flats or with heels. So you can do that with hem tape if you want to wear a pair of pants with both flats and heels, and that way you can change it up when you need to and it's not stitched. Or when you get a pair of pants hemmed, you either hem it at a height that you can wear it with heels, or you hem it at a height where you can wear it with flats.
So that's great advice. That's fabulous advice. So, so tell us, moving away from the clothing, moving away from finding friends, what are other things that you help people do that maybe most of your clients kind of have an issue with?
Right. Most of the folks that I've coached in my corporate career are folks who are really trying to find their purpose and find their path. They might have gone through college and gotten things done and achieved a lot because that's what was expected of them, but not necessarily because it's what they chose. As they develop into young professionals and start going into their careers, even people who are in a career change, you're starting to really look at what you want to do and how you want to live your life and where you want to go. And some people have never consciously chosen that. So there's tools and techniques mainly that I learned from Jack Canfield, where you can get clear on your purpose, you can get clear on your goals, you can get clear on methods and tools and techniques for setting those, for staying on track, and for really having that quantum leap in what you're able to achieve and where you're able to go.
Wow, that sounds great. So in finding that purpose, how do you think the best way to go about doing that is?
I've always told myself that it's just as important to know what I like to do as what I don't like to do. So, for example, when I'm looking for a job in my profession, my career is in human resources, um, I can't stand spreadsheets. I understand the value of the data that they provide, but if I had to analyze them and work with them all day long, I would be miserable. But if I'm in a job where I'm talking to people, I'm connecting to people, I'm understanding what makes the business tick, I'm understanding what makes them tick, and helping them with people challenges where maybe they have a challenged client or maybe they have someone who works for them who's just not motivated. That's the kind of problems that I love to work with. So I know that I need a job that does that versus one that keeps me more focused on either a computer or spreadsheets or something like that.
Well, that's great advice when you think about it, because really, if you go back to what it is you really like, and usually what you like is what you do well, then you're working in the area where you are both highly skilled and highly passionate. You're, it's like you don't almost like you don't even go to work. It's like what you're
Right.
doing is effortless, as opposed to,
Right.
when I was studying and I went into marketing and I realized marketing is basically budgeting. I was like, that's not going to work for me, because I don't really like that. I like the creative aspect of it. So yeah,
Right.
it's really finding that place, that sweet spot where you really do enjoy being there. So let's say you might have people that you work with that aren't in that place. What do you do?
Well, it depends, right? You can't control anybody else. You can control yourself and you can change yourself. And what I have found, if I look back over my life, anytime that I was unhappy or I needed a change, if I kept on complaining about the situation and expected the world to change, it never happened. But if I looked at myself and really focused on creating the type of environment I wanted to be in and started with me, a lot of times how people reacted to me changed, the people around me changed. Sometimes I stayed where I was, sometimes I moved into a different job, but it really all starts with you. So if you're in a business or have a group of people where they don't share these values or they're not inspired that way, you have a couple choices. You can try and teach them the values, share what you know, see how they respond. If they don't respond, you have a choice to stay there or to go.
Wow, that's pretty intense.
Yeah,
But it's your
it can
life.
be.
The thing is, it's your life. Yeah, yeah, it's your job, but it's your life. And the more time, and how many hours do we spend every day at work? If we're not happy in that time, I mean, that's a huge part of our life when we add that up, And then the other thing is, that's just, we're just missing the opportunity to find what we really would love to do. So it really is important to make those changes.
Yeah, early on in my career, I went to work for one of the big four consulting companies. And I knew that it was a good company. I really liked the people and I wanted to get my foot in the door. So I accepted the job that they offered. I really had no clue what it was that I was going to be doing, but they said they had a great training program. So I trusted that. And they did. They trained me how to program a computer. That's not what I love to do. But
Exactly.
it was a good start for me. It really helped me understand the business that I was in. So it was valuable, but it's not what makes me come alive. I was never going to be perceived as a superstar at that when I'm standing next to and competing with people who live and breathe and love that. And thank God that they love it because they definitely make our world a better place. But as soon as I really got in touch with myself and figured out what I liked and switched into HR, that's when I started life.
Well, that's really great that you were able to find what it is that you love, what excites you, and powers you to make changes and to move forward in your life. That's really important. So we're out of time, which is really sad because there were so many things that I wanted to talk to you about. Maybe when we'll come back and we'll talk about some other things in your business and give some people some more advice, because I think that this time has been very, very valuable. So thank you so much for being here.
Oh, you're welcome, Lori. It was my pleasure, and I would love to come back.
Thank you. Thanks so much. So there it was. That was another episode of Focus Forward with Audra Clay, and she was really talking about how to be the best you. So thank you so much. Laura Flaquer signing off. Take care.